Hello, welcome to road.cc. I am here with Patrick of Merida, and we have here the new Silex bike. And we've just been having a little bit of debate over what category it falls in, but we've decided adventure would best describe it because it is a very versatile gravel, off-road / road, bit of everything, very versatile machine. Can you explain more who this is targeted at and why I need it?
Sure. The bike is designed as a road bike which approaches a little bit of off-road riding, or more or less off-road riding. The main idea is that we take the genes of a road bike and edit a little bit with the genes of a mountain bike. First of all, you can see it on the geometry. It's, I call it maybe a mountain bike inspired geometry. We have a very long reach combined with short stem, which is nowadays known pretty much for mountain bikes. But at the same time, we have a quite long head tube. So this combination makes a very unique feeling. It looks maybe a little bit odd on the data, but I guarantee it's a new experience in terms of riding.
Great. And so what differentiates this bike from others in your range, and what's come before it?
Yeah, like I said, it's the geometry. Just a simple pick about the influence of geometry is when you descend on a cross bike, for example, because many people say, oh, it's more or less a cross bike, what's the difference? Is once you go downhill, many people of you notice that there's a shift of the center of gravity, so you feel you falling over. So nobody would actually, or few people only would descend the bike in the drops where they have the most control of the bike. Most of them stick in the hoods, and then they can just control the bike by the hands and the thumb. So with it enlargement of the head tube, even not too trained rider can ride comfortably in the drops and have full control while braking, because they can grab the bike with their complete fingers, and as well on the flat. So when they're riding on the flat, they have much more options where they can have touch points with the bike. They can ride on the hoods, they can ride in the drops, they can ride on the upper position of the bike. Oh.
So I can ride in a more comfortable position on the drops in this bike. That's
Absolutely.
what it's designed for.
Yeah, so cool. Even a regular person never sit on a road bike will most likely ride the bike on the drops. Because if we're honest, we look at so many bike designs nowadays, people put 20, 30 millimeter space underneath and still not ride in the drops. So we're selling a lot of road bikes which can be ridden as a flat bar bike. So now with this bike we take an actual advantage of the drops in many scenarios, like I said, on the flat and on the descent. So
I can see there's like plenty of attachment points on the bike for accessories. Can you go into a little bit about that?
Sure. Part of the concept is that we don't want to limit the rider and what he wants to do with the bicycle. So we have plenty of attachment points, not only standard water bottle mounts in the front triangle. We have also underneath attachment points for if you are thirsty, you can carry water, of course. But if you want to have a touring bike or a proper bikepacking bike, many riders put a gasoline bottle underneath, so you can put it here in the spot. We have two mounts on the fork, left and right side, where you can either put, we at Merida have a certain plastic cage which you can put on. You can add a dry bag, or you can add water model bounds, or you can add a carrier system, which is quite easy. So we're not saying what you should ride on the bike. You can ride anything on the bike. Additionally to that, we have mandatory, especially here in the UK, Fender Mounts. They are quite nice on fork and frame. We have even on the carbon version the option of mounting a rack. And there are some bike designs out there where cyclocross bikes have the rack mounts, but the problem with the cyclocross bike, they have usually very short chainstays. So then the likelihood is quite high that your heel will hit, the typical alt leap or carrier back. So with this bike, it won't happen because it has a really long chainstay, and you can add a carrier to that bike without any issues.
Great. So we've got commuters covered, adventure riders. So as a road cyclist, why would I want this bike? It's spec with 35mm tyres, as we can see it, so we've gone over why it makes it the bike very suitable for off-road adventures, commuting, long journeys.
Yes.
Yeah, as a road cyclist, why would I consider this bike?
Because it offers you just more options on your daily ride, even on your training. If you want to train on this bicycle, it's great because you can go, 30% of your ride on the road and then take a spin on the gravel. I can understand that the more cars we have nowadays on the roads, it's getting a little sketchy, and you want to have a proper training, maybe you just go on gravel. So you can go in certain countries miles and miles on gravel. They're beautiful roads. So with this bike, even a enthusiast or even a sportive road rider can have fun. So there's not a big negative impact in terms of rolling resistance, for example. These tires have a semi-slick profile, so they roll really well on the road. So you can go up easily to 30k, 35k an hour, and then take a spin on the dirt and continue your training over there. So as a road rider, it offers you plenty of new ways of training, for example.
And you can always spec it with skinnier tyres if you want a full road setup.
If you want to have full road setup, depends of course on the rim size, but you can go up to 28. That's no big deal. Yeah.
Cool. And speaking of versatility, this is the carbon version, right? They're spec'd with 1x SRAM Force 1x group set. So what was your decision for speccing it with that, and why is it? Is that a popular choice? Is it driven by you, or is that what the consumer wants?
Sometimes there's a difference between what I want and what the consumer wants, and I think this is maybe an arguable point here. I think a 1x setup offers you plenty of benefits, not in all scenarios, but in many. And many of these scenarios will happen with this bike. For example, our setup is a 44 front chainring and a 10 or 11 42 rear cassette. Most of the people say, oh, it's very hard to climb, I don't know, I'm afraid of running out of gears. But if you take a look at the data, a 44 front chainring combined with a 42 rear cassette climbs better than a 34-32 combination. So this is a more emotional driven fear of the people that they have problems climbing. On the other side, if we talk about the range, the 4410 or 4411 allows plenty of speed. You can go up at 45, 40k an hour easily. And I would say not too many of us will do that on a regular basis. I can say yes, if you're racing, maybe if you're especially crit racing, maybe this is not the type of bike you should choose, and not maybe this type of gear ratio you should choose. But if you want to have a good time on the bike, just ride it wherever you want to have a hassle-free system, that's great. And it's a nice experience to, it lightens a little bit your ride if you know, okay, I can shift only one hand, up and down, that's it. I don't need to watch the chain line, you can brake less, it doesn't make too much of a noise. The simplicity here beats, the how to say it, the negative effect which come with the 1x system. Of course, it's unarguably that you have bigger gaps. You have jumps sometimes 17% instead of 10%, but I would say for me and for a lot of average people, that doesn't count.
Okay, right. So do you offer is the bike going to be available in other combinations, double chain rings as well, in other versions?
Yeah, we don't want to dictate people how they want the drivetrain, so of course we offer a 2x system, a 2x option. The 2x options are usually a 48-32, so a little bit lighter. Again, all focused on helping people to climb, not to win the sprints at the finish line. For us, climbing has a higher priority. We have some new Ultegra group sets with the bike. They have a 34 cassette. These bikes will have a 50-34, so 1x1 climbing ratio on these bikes. Yeah.
Great. So when can I get my hand on a Silex, and what is the price range, spec range of the bikes?
The hands-on you should get pretty soon, I think within this month for the first bikes. The price range is from something around £1,000 to 3,600 pounds in this range. These bikes. This is a top-end bike. This of course will be more expensive, but then we have alloy bikes still with a carbon fork, but just with an alloy frame and simpler spec.
Thank you for talking us through the new Merida Silex. Remember to like and subscribe to road.cc's YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time.